Record for you.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
It's the Real Estate and Open Space Committee, regular session meeting, August 21st, 2020. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, GLC 38, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Town of Harwich Real Estate and Open Space Committee on August 21st, 2020 will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right or required in this meeting were echoed back. Can be found on the Town of Harwich website at www.harwich-mass.ma.gov. Charlene, I'm getting that.
Yeah, somebody has to be on a phone and the computer on at the same time.
I think it's Betsy.
Okay. What am I supposed to? Sorry, guys.
Just turn your phone off. Okay. All right. Sounds better. Okay. The Real Estate and Open Space Committee meeting Friday, August 21, 2020. First order is call to order. We'll do a roll call vote, please. Kathy?
Here.
Carol? Unmute Carol.
Here.
Dave.
Here.
Marcia.
Here.
James. Okay. Approval of the minutes, the regular session of July 17th, 2020. I would appreciate a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 17th, 2020.
And a second?
I will second it.
Yeah. And approval of the site visit minutes from July 17th, 2020.
You want to vote on one at a time, or?
Well, I think we have to separate them. There were two separate postings.
Vote on the regular minutes first.
Didn't we just do that?
You have to roll call vote.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Regular session minutes. Motion to approve them. Kathy?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Marcia?
Yes.
Myself, yes. A motion to approve the minutes from the site visit on July 17th, 2020.
And I'll make a motion to approve the site visit minute meetings from July 17th, 2020.
I second.
Thank you. Old business.
We have a roll call. We need to have a roll call vote.
Kathy.
Sorry.
God.
Yay, yes.
Carol.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Marcia.
Yes.
Yes, myself. Is Michael Locke on the call?
Yes. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Michael. All right, old business. Update on the presentation at the Board of Selectmen meeting regarding the property at 0 Headwaters Drive, map 81. Mike and I appeared before the Board of Selectmen at their meeting on August 3rd. They requested a few changes and asked us to come back, which we did on August 10th. Mike, would you like to explain where we are with this proposal that we have?
Sure. Thanks, Elaine. Good morning, everybody.
As Elaine explained, we met with the Board of Selectmen in executive session on 2 occasions. They voted to support the project while modifying the acquisition structure such that the narrow lot that is adjacent to and on the westerly side of the Cape Cod Rail Trail would be not under the ownership of the Conservation Commission through the town, but under the ownership of the selectmen through the town, that parcel being identified as Lot G1 on tax map 81. But the selectmen went on to say that they would prefer to see that property managed by the Conservation Commission. The rest of the proposed acquisition structure remains the same. And the selectmen also, in their vote of support, requested that cranberry bog farming continue, quote unquote, as long as possible. I did clarify to them that at the moment, Mr. Jenkins, the owner and bog operator, has verbally agreed to a cranberry bog farming lease back of up to 5 years, and then we would evaluate on an annual basis. That is the status of the result of the meeting with the selectmen. Elaine and I then met in executive session with the Conservation Commission on August 19th. Conservation Commission voted to endorse the project, as well as provide a support letter for the pending Community Preservation Committee CPA funding application, which will be drafted over the next couple of weeks for submission by your committee to the CPC.
Yes, Kathy.
So in your first meeting with the Board of Selectmen, what were the main objections? Can you talk about them?
Well, the first...
This is
I'm
open.
sorry,
Yeah, I'm curious about what the protocol is for those are executive session meetings. This is an open session. I don't want to be respectful of the selectmen, but
That's
also
fine.
respectful of updating the Real Estate and Open Space Committee. So I'm looking for some guidance on that aspect, given that.
Yeah.
Charlene, you're muted.
Sorry about that. You don't want to get into the particulars about any discussions that were held in executive session. Just simply that you met in executive session to discuss the property.
And well, I think I can add, and as with anything, sometimes compromises have to be made in order to move a project further along, and that's what happened. So there we are. So thank you to the Conservation Commission. They were very nice to approve us, support us in this, and we will start getting the application in, working on it. Kathy, if you'll help Mike and I, maybe the 3 of us can work on that application, because as always, October 1st is coming up shortly. So we need to, okay. And just added to this, I was going to save it for the report later, but last night the CPC had an open meeting that people called in. I joined in hoping that they were going to talk about what the procedure was going to be this year, being as we can't all walk into town hall and ask somebody to make us 12 copies, put them in the envelope, put them in the box, and all that. What's going to happen? Well, apparently they hadn't planned on discussing anything like that. And I thought that's why they were having the open meeting, quite frankly. But they did say that they will work on some kind of process at their next meeting. So, and let us know how we're going to handle submitting the applications. Some folks seem to think they would be all right receiving them electronically. Others think they still need the paper copies in their hands. So some kind of an agreement will come up, and they'll let us know maybe next month at their meeting. So that's where we stand.
And Amy or I can help with putting together paper packets if needed.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll see what they come up with. I mean, ideally, if it was all electronic, yeah, you know, we could just send it all in, zap it in somehow and make it work, but we'll work on it. We have time to do that. Okay, any other questions or anything about the application and Headwaters Drive? I think we're good. Next is discussion and possible vote regarding Zero Cherokee Drive. It is my opinion, and solely mine, we'll vote on this. We have not received any further information than we had before on this property. And even though I think we all agreed it's a worthwhile endeavor to acquire this property, we're just not getting the information we need from the owners and their attorneys and whatever. My opinion is we put it on the back burner. I don't think it's in danger of going away anytime real soon because they still have to resolve their issues as whether it's buildable or non-buildable and all that. So I would make the motion that we put this particular property on the back burner until we receive any positive information that would help us to go forward with it, because otherwise we're just in limbo with it. So I don't know how you all feel. We could have a discussion.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mike.
May I? I don't know that you need a vote to do that. That's one way to do it. But you could just take no action at this time. As you pointed out, it is still an available property. And as you pointed out, the committee hasn't received any additional information that would help its decision-making process. That still could be possible.
The only reason I want something a little definitive is because I realize James is very passionate about this. And I think if we have something a little more definitive, it might help him to let go of it a bit right now and wait, because he still wants to continue pursuing this actively and looking for more ways to do it. So I don't know, everybody express your opinions, what your feelings are. Marcia.
So just on a real estate standpoint, right now, it is listed as being expired, which means that the listing contract is up with this current realtor. It doesn't mean that they're not going to renew it. It doesn't mean that they're not going to go with another realtor. But the fact that it has been on for so long and nothing has really been done about it, there's got to be something that's, you know, real estate is really hot right now. So there's got to be something that is holding it back. So like Elaine said, I feel that, you know, maybe we just put it on the back burner and, you know, look at things that are a little bit more pressing. It has been on the market for a long time. And so I think that, you know, it may go back on. Right now, it's not on the market because the listing expired, but it may go right back. We don't know. But it's just, like you said, we're not getting any information. There's a big discrepancy with regards to the appraisal and how it, you know, is buildable or non-buildable. You know, there's probably some zoning things that are in the background. So I agree with Elaine that maybe we not put so much energy on it and then, you know, work on things that might be a little bit more pressing.
Okay. Anyone else? Dave? You need to unmute, Dave.
Yeah, I know. Trying to find the button. Marcia, do you have the ability to flag it within your MLS system or the, you know, any of your real estate systems to let you know when there's been a change on its listing status? Yes. I saw it, yes.
Okay.
Because all I'm thinking of is if you can flag it so that if there is a change, you get notified and you can send out notifications. And I don't, I would assume to the whole committee, so it could end up on a following agenda and we'd have a chance to research it. That's all.
Hi, Elaine. It's actually Jim here.
Oh, hi, Jim.
Hey. I missed the first few seconds of the meeting. But yeah, I'm okay either way. I don't want to give the impression that I'm pushing too hard on that one. I did have one question as to, remember we were talking about a month ago. I guess the question was whether or not the Six Ponds District regulations apply to a pre-existing lot or whether they don't apply. Were you able to get an answer to that question?
Arlene?
Yes. Who's Charlene? Amy? Anybody?
When the lot was created, there are still stipulations whether if it is a lawfully pre-existing lot, it is subject to certain provisions of the Six Ponds Special District.
And the reason it was determined to be non-buildable was a lack of frontage. And does that appear to be the correct assumption?
Until they prove us otherwise, I think it is a correct assumption. But as the conversation has been had, we're lacking information from the property owner. So that information's needed. It could very well be a protected buildable lot. I don't know based on the information that I've seen and that town council has seen.
Okay, Jim?
Okay, yeah, that's all for now.
Yeah, and as I was saying, I appreciate your enthusiasm and passion about this, but right now we just have to let it go and wait and see what develops in the future. So we, like Marcia said, we have other pressing things to deal with, and unless something comes up with this, we're just going to move along, okay?
Yeah, I agree. There's some other good projects on the table, so I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. New business. Presentation by the property owner.
Point of order, you actually made a motion, Elaine.
Oh, okay.
So you can either withdraw your motion or
I'll withdraw the motion.
it's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, okay. Well, just like me. Okay, I believe Betsy Bray, you're with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Hi, everybody.
Just one second. Kathy?
What'd you say, Kathy?
I said hello, Betsy. Hello, Betsy.
Oh, hi. Yeah, it says presentation, but I'll just give you a little bit of background. This is about 46 Indian Trail, and I bought the property in 2016, thinking that I was going to build a house on it. And it became clear to me after a few months that I could not do that because construction costs were skyrocketing. And as a single retired woman of a certain age, it just seemed like a really risky thing for me to do. So I decided to put it on the market back in, I believe it was probably 2016 or 17. It has been on and off the market since then. It did have a conservation permit on it that actually I did buy the land from Bill Marsh. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera. I have a big TV that I'm looking at instead. So anyway, I actually bought the property from Bill Marsh. But anyway, and I went on his conservation permit. I went back into, well, wait, I'm going to back up. I'm really sorry. Bill Marsh had a conservation permit that expired in 2016. I went to conservation. They renewed it for 3 more years. I went back in 2019 and they denied an extension on that conservation permit. And so I'm in the process, and Amy, you can weigh in on this too. I'm in the process of reapplying for a conservation permit with a much smaller house on it to make it more marketable for selling. And the reason I want to meet with you guys is to say that I really want to find out more about what you're about, explore all my options in terms of this lot. It does back up, I believe, to town conservation lands. There is obviously there's wetlands because that's why the conservation permit. I don't know, Amy, did you want to add anything or?
Well, first of all, yeah, we're still getting an echo.
Oh, huh. I don't know what to do. I can bring my phone closer.
No, you need to turn the phone off.
Betsy, you shouldn't need your phone if you're on the video. Oh,
I have my video mirrored to my TV. So let me, I'm wondering if I should just turn off my TV and just do my phone. Let me try that. How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. First of all, is everybody familiar where this property is located? Have you looked at the map and see where it is and are familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay, Amy?
Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay, so Betsy is correct that, so the property, the rear and sides of the property. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, Betsy said she.
Betsy said she couldn't hear.
Can you hear now, Betsy?
Yes, I can, but am I still echoing?
No.
Okay. I didn't hear what I'm sorry. Technology is so much fun.
So Betsy is correct. Yeah. Now I have an echo. This is going to be really hard because I can hear 5 seconds later. So the Conservation Commission denied the extension because the rules had changed. The regulations had changed since the original application, original order of conditions time, and that had an impact potentially on this lot. There is some upland there. There is also on the outskirts of the lot, there's wetland, one of which, a piece of which is actually a vernal pool and is state listed vernal pool. So it's currently, I'm not going to say too much about it because it is currently in front of the Conservation Commission again for a new permit with a different house design that is minimalized. But it does about 7 or 8 acres of Harwich Conservation Trust land. And it also is near or might abut directly some town of Harwich land to the northwest. And that's essentially it. It is currently under review by the Conservation Commission, so I can't go into that too much. But from the habitat perspective, it's a pretty pristine lot. There's not a lot of invasives. It's a very native lot. If you have any other questions of me, let me know.
All right, thank you, Amy. So Betsy, so your first choice, of course, would be to get approval from Conservation to build on that lot.
That's correct.
Okay. I think we have to wait and see what Conservation determines. Then if you're not allowed to build, then your proposal would be to bring it to this committee with the intent of having the town purchase the property?
Yes, that's correct. And I also just want to say that the reason I'm going for obviously for this conservation permit is that I'm not going to be building a house on this lot, but I want to make it more marketable to sell at this point, and hoping that from that standpoint. And as far as I know, the next conservation meeting is on September 2nd that we're going to be on, my engineer and I. And so I will have some more information, I hope, for you guys after that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Does that work for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just contact me. I'm at you, wherever you just echo. Just contact me after the conservation meeting and let me know what your position is then and what you would like to do. And we can always come back, bring it back to another meeting. Okay.
And thank you to all the committee for taking the time to meet with me. I just had one question. I had a question about that title requirement. Maybe Elaine and I can talk privately about that. You asked for a title requirement, and I don't think there's such a thing as an actual title. And would I have to do a title search on the lot, or are we just we'll pursue what else you need from me if we go ahead with this?
Charlene, can you answer? Oh, Kathy?
I was just going to say that the requirement is for clear title. And so one would think that when she purchased the property from Eastward Companies that she would have gotten clear title.
But wouldn't there be some document that says that?
There should be.
Yes.
She should have she should have a deed, and because it can't transfer if it's not clear.
I have a deed.
Okay, proof of ownership.
Okay, yes, I had spoken to Betsy and I had given her the list of things that are required, like the tax status and the deed and all that. So that's why she brought that up. Okay, Betsy, good luck with Conservation Commission.
Yeah,
and let
thank
us
you.
know how it makes out. If you need to come back to us, we'll be glad to meet with you again.
Thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate it. And let's hope we can go forward or whatever, how it all pans out. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, I have on the agenda members' reports. And I did this just in case people have things they want to bring up, possibly something they might want to put on the next agenda, or maybe they've been doing things or talk to people and they just want to bring it up. My first question for James and Dave, have you both gone and been sworn in?
Yes.
James, have you been sworn in? Did you go to a town clerk and be sworn in?
I have not had a chance.
Okay, you need to contact Anita Doucette, town clerk, and set an appointment to be sworn in.
Okay, yeah, I'll make an appointment to do that.
Okay, thank you. That clears that up. Dave, have you had any further discussions with the water department? Is where we left them?
Haven't heard anything from them. I'll check in with them, but they didn't get in touch with me. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all right. Well, Dave and I both told them if they needed any help with anything or wanted us to do it, just let us know, but apparently they don't need us. Kathy, anything going on that you'd like to bring up?
After the last meeting, I think I mentioned to you, Elaine, in a conversation that I thought it was time for us to update the site visit form.
Right.
Because we have several different forms we're pulling from, and we also received some additional information from what some other land trusts were doing across the Cape. And we thought that we could maybe take a look at all those and sort of come up with more of a cohesive, evaluation form.
I actually have 4 different forms.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, Carol, you started. You did a nice job because we felt that everybody should have at least one evaluation form in their computer, as things move along. So, Carol, nice job on that. We need to do that. So, who would like to help volunteer to do that?
Well, I'll work on it with somebody. I'll work on it with you, Elaine, if you want, or.
Okay. Or Carol, you want to be in on this? Carol, you have to unmute or sign.
Yeah, I'll help, yeah. Because I have a digital, I can send out. I think we have 2, and then one we received that Kathy brought, and you maybe brought back from
right.
an off-site, seminar you went to. So those are the ones I know about.
I think it's just time to regroup, and.
Right. Because I have one that has like different colored sections on it, and it's just too much. Okay, let's, afterwards we'll coordinate someday and see what we can do virtually to work on that. Thank you, Kathy, for bringing that up. Anyone else? Carol, anything going on that you want to?
Well, I was just going to bring up that questionnaire because we do go over that, review it. The 2 we have now that I consolidated, the affordable housing and then the regular questionnaire. I do keep a copy of it. When we go over it, I keep a copy of that. So.
Right. Okay. Marcia, anything going on in your world before you pause me?
You're paused. You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, I was just flicking up a notification. So no, I don't have anything with relating to real estate and open space. So
okay.
I have other things, but yeah.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I wanted to let the committee know that I have actually been in voice contact with Mr. Melvin, who is either somehow financially tied to or is a representative of the 22 acres of land that are between Forest Street and Bank Street. And I've been working with the treasurer of the town, found out exactly how much is owed. There's actually 3 parcels, one that's 20 acres, one that's about 3 acres, and one that's less than an acre. And they all have back taxes. About $150,000 worth of back taxes are owed. So I've been chatting with the property owner, and Mike is also has also spoken with him. We've discussed potential fee simple donation of the land. He still wants to see if the parcel that has direct connection to Forest Street is a buildable lot. Right now, that is the highest assessed lot at $187,000 for about the 3 acres, because there is a little bit of upland there. So I have to speak with him again and kind of see what his thoughts are. But he did seem to be interested in potentially getting rid of those properties, potentially gifting the properties to the town. But we're still have to figure out the exact mechanism for doing that, because there are a significant amount of back taxes owed. And if it was a fee simple donation, at town meeting, the town would have to agree to accept the land essentially in lieu of taxes, which we have done before, but not for this amount of money.
Okay. For those of you, we've often referred to this property as the Grassy Pond property.
Which one of your priorities?
Mostly wetlands, right?
Excuse me?
Mostly wetlands.
It is the old cranberry bog, the 20 acres or so. It's not worth a lot. There's actually a lot more on the wetland piece itself. There's a lot more taxes owed than what it's worth. But again, there is a potentially, there's a parcel on Forest Street that has debatable buildability. But if we're talking about, potential restoration, we were doing the restoration of Cold Brook, and the town does own Grassy Pond to the north, the potential for large-scale restoration and just making sure that that's always protected is a good thing. So it may be, we may be able to acquire it. We don't know yet. But finally have had discussion with somebody who either represents the property or is financially invested in the property.
Good. It's great.
And part of this property is
Amy, sorry. Who's the owner of the property? What's the name?
Meldon, Mr. Meldon, Melden. Well, he's the representative. The owner, it starts with an M too, and I can't remember. But the representative that I spoke to, he was kind of vague about what his how he was tied to the property. But it is in pre-foreclosure, which the town is not.
right. We had. I was going to say we had referred it for foreclosure. Part of this, right?
We have, but the town, because of COVID, has kind of put a stop on the foreclosure proceedings. But this is one of the ones, yes.
Yeah, okay. I won't comment when I want to comment. I know that they've stopped the foreclosure things from going forward because they don't want to put anybody out on the street, which I agree with. But when it's just property, you're not really putting anybody on the street. But so I don't know why they.
The treasurer did say if she was given, because she was given the direction not to pursue foreclosure. But if there were specific properties where the town did want to pursue foreclosures, she would be happy to do so.
Okay, all right. All right, so keep us informed of, what's going on when you talk to this man. Now, you had mentioned to me that he was also looking for a letter for the IRS to show it as a contribution, or?
The town wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
That's what the treasurer said to me, is that for a fee simple donation, I mean, essentially what you get out of this is that you don't have to pay your taxes anymore. So if he were to work with somebody like the trust, potentially that there's a tax write-off. But again, so if the trust were to get take the property, somebody would still be responsible for those back taxes.
Right.
And I'm by no means an expert. Mike is more of an expert than I am about these types of real estate transactions, and so is the town treasurer. So I'm learning a lot along the way, but.
As we all are. Mike, any comment on this?
I think Amy covered it.
Okay.
It's in process, and we'll see what evolves. But I think that it could be a great opportunity to bring that mostly wetland expanse into conservation.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just to note I'm sorry, Kathy, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to know, Elaine, if you had any kind of a member report on the Affordable Housing Trust.
No, because they have not had a meeting. Charlene, correct? I had seen something where they said they were going to have one this afternoon, but there's nothing on the agenda on the website. No agenda.
No, they were scheduled to have one yesterday afternoon, but that was postponed.
Oh,
so there is no agenda for that.
Okay. All right. So there's nothing with Affordable Housing Trust right now. I have noticed that our annual meeting with the Board of Selectmen is scheduled for December 7th.
Elaine, did you get notice of that?
Yes, I did. The administrator's office sent out a listing of all the committees and when their appointments were, or when their dates were.
Must have been to the chair people, because I didn't get one either for conservation.
Staff didn't get anything, so yeah, we'll take care of that because I haven't a clue.
Well, and I know now in the administrator's office that Patty is out, so for a while, and I guess Danielle is the person that we would deal with now. All right. Mary Maslowski is looking for us to set our next meeting dates for the next 3 months. So folks have calendars handy.
Yeah. You want date or what?
Well, our next meeting, if we follow the usual protocol, would be September 18th. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Now move on to October 16th.
Yep.
Yep.
We all good?
Yep.
Now, the next one, November, would be November 20th. Now, that's the week before Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Do we want to have it that Friday? Maybe people are going to, who knows what's going to happen in the world, whether anybody will be traveling to visit or people, I don't know. So it's either the 20th or we want to push it back to the 13th just to be safe in case people have too much going on that next weekend. It's up to you.
I say we stay the course. Keep it on the third, Friday, the 20th.
Okay, on the 20th. Okay. And just
my last meeting with you.
well, we'll have balloons and.
Have we heard that before, Charlie?
Oh, it's true this time. It's true.
Well, have they, just as an aside, have they been looking for someone to replace you, or are we just going to try and arm wrestle you beginning in November?
I don't honestly know what they're doing.
Okay.
And we should just do December while we're here, December 18th.
Yes, I was going to say December 18th again. You stay with that, or are we getting too close to Christmas? I'm sure there will be a Christmas in some form, but so, I mean, it can always be changed. Things can be changed, but as far as letting her know the dates, at least we can give her these dates and be good with that.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope.
So
Nothing?
should I note those 3 meetings in the minutes or just the next meeting like I usually do?
You put them all.
Whatever, you can put them all. Yeah, you can show that we decided to do that. That people can plan ahead, so, okay. If there's nothing else, then I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Somebody, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Okay, here we go. Roll call. Kathy?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Marcia?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
This